Once upon a time, in a land not so far away, there was a home. Inside this home was a very young boy making a terrible ruckus. He ran to and fro, yelling and laughing, playing war games, and making an awful mess. He played all by himself, acting out both sides of the battle. He'd shoot his imaginary gun, then run all the way to the other side of the room, and then die in the most dramatic way possible. After he was tired of running around, he'd return to his Legos and Hot Wheels, and with these two tools, he'd create entire worlds and characters, intricate systems of government. And then, of course, he'd promptly obliterate it all in an epic conflict of massive scale. This young man had also become dear friends with some very important people, like Gandalf and Frodo, and Dumbledore and Harry Potter. He adored these characters, and he loved their stories. They inspired him to create even grander tales. But as he grew older, he realized that something was missing. He began to know that he not only wanted to create things, but share them. And so, the journey began. For as long as I can remember, I've been telling stories. I've spent hundreds upon hundreds of hours creating fictional places and characters, reading numerous books by fantastic authors, and daydreaming about the minute adventures I could have if only I were a wizard. Over the past 4 years, I have written a dozen short stories, read several hundred books belonging to all genres, and I have become an earnest student of literature, learning from the likes of Nathaniel Hawthorne, J.R.R. Tolkien, Robert Jordan, and Brandon Sanderson. My writing journey has been fun and exciting and magical, but it has never been easy. Far from it, actually. Learning from long-dead authors and people I've never met before can only take me so far. I can admire the stunning prose of Hawthorne and Shakespeare, and I can dissect their techniques, but those are frankly a frail substitute for real connection. If I could sit at the feet of the greatest literary minds of our day, consume their words of wisdom, and hold real conversations with them, that would be one of the most significant opportunities of my life. When I realized this, I set out to have that exact experience. Acton Academy gave me the platform to pursue an apprenticeship with anyone I had the courage to ask. With giddy excitement, I began to send letters to all my favorite authors. How impressed would they be when a 15-year-old kid came asking for their guidance, laying on a thick coat of praise in the process? Well, apparently no one. For literally years, I sent email after email, only for my attempts at connection to fall upon deaf ears and silent mouths. Just this year, I spent a dozen hours filming and editing videos for Joe Abercrombie and Jed Hearn. No response from the former, and a swift no from the latter. In every creative pursuit, having a caring and committed mentor is key. But how many successful writers are actually willing to sit down and connect with those that come to them in earnest? From my experience, very few. I've done an inconceivable amount of research on everything that has to do with writing. What I found are authors who hide themselves and their knowledge behind paywalls. In the writing community, there seems to be this impenetrable scarcity mindset that pervades the industry. And I get it. Living in this world is expensive, and according to the research, only 5% of creative writers make a full-time living. It's much better for them if you didn't read other books. Now, I don't think that successful writers and publishers are actively malignant and don't want you to succeed. I believe that they're good people, but I do see this trap that so many authors have fallen into. They give generic advice, never touching on how to actually get published, and often never even communicate with their fan base at all. The successful writers who have the most to give offer the least. I think all this comes down to the fact that they have no idea, these writers have no idea, how much power they hold. Think of all the starving artists that have never been given a drop of encouragement. All the people that have stories they want to share, but feel shunned and stifled. Put yourself in their shoes for a moment. Imagine how flat and empty you would feel if you wanted to do something great, but all you ever heard was how silly you were being. How would you feel if you looked around and all you ever saw were failed projects and people telling you to turn the other way? But what if you were grasped by the shoulders and shaken out of that dreary stupor, and when you looked up, you saw the face of your hero, someone that has created something magnificent, someone that means the world to you, and they lifted you up and looked you right in the eye, and they told you that the worlds you want to create and the stories you want to tell are worth it. Imagine how you would feel. I sent one final email, feeling lost and rejected and honestly hopeless, to a wonderful man named Dean Hughes. He responded quickly with an enthusiastic yes. I was blown away and beyond grateful. We've been meeting for several months now, and the lessons and charity that he has shown me has already changed my life, and that is not an exaggeration. His guidance and honest feedback has been a breath of fresh air, and I feel like doors have been opened and skies have been cleared. Every time we meet, I feel reinvigorated with an even deeper passion to follow my dreams and become a successful storyteller. How is this something I could keep to myself? I've discovered gold in a mine that most believe is long empty. How could I leave my fellow man to exist in their stagnant state when I know that there is a better way? I must connect novice authors and expert authors so that dreams and ambitions can become a reality. A kinship needs to be rekindled. Instead of suspicious glances and jealous hearts, let there be bonds of friendship and open souls. So, imagine this. It's 5 years from now, and you're sitting in a spacious room, just like this, quite a bit bigger, just one in a sea of 1,000 aspiring writers. There's a low, energetic buzz that permeates the auditorium, and you can feel the nervous excitement in your bosom. The stage in front of you is set like a grand Victorian ballroom. A little corny, but it's worth it. Suddenly, a fanfare of trumpets fills the air, and dozens of authors walk on stage. One by one, they introduce themselves, and you can't believe your luck. These are the greatest minds in modern fiction, and you have been given unfiltered access to their knowledge. What a day, what an opportunity! Your mind is being opened. What else could the future hold? I envision an annual conference, a convention, where aspiring storytellers come to learn at the feet of the most well-respected and talented authors. Famous writers like Brandon Sanderson, Stephen King, Joe Abercrombie, and J.K. Rowling would share their knowledge with those that need it most. The traditional barrier between the established and the new is broken here. There is no question that can't be asked, and no author that isn't willing to answer. This is where those writers who have so much power to be a force for good can really make a difference. This is where the industry changes. Everything here is about edifying each other through the process of unadulterated creation. There's not a moment spent that isn't meant to teach and uplift. Not only will these authors be giving talks, but they will also hold personalized workshops, teaching those who attend the specifics of the writing process. We will bring in motivational speakers, such as Greg Denning, Ryan Holiday, and James Clear, who will help give direction to aimless authors. How to construct your day, keep a consistent writing schedule, and deal with criticism will just be some of the counsel these speakers will give. There will be activities of all sorts, pushing everyone to grow and improve each day. Attendees will participate in panels where questions may be asked and answered. Not only will you be able to interact with previously established authors, but you will be able to connect with people just like you. This is a space where anything is possible and where collaboration is everything. Representatives of both small and large publishing houses will be present, and literary agents will be there actively looking for new clients. They will teach these new authors how to pitch themselves to possible publishers and how to find and work together with an agent. Self-publishing experts will also be speaking, giving instructions on how to best market yourself and your book. There are so many paths that one could take, and I want all of them to be open to those who seek them. Finally, and most importantly, the best authors of our day, who are heroes to so many, will promise to take on one apprentice each. Anyone may audition, but only those who are truly serious about becoming authors and successful storytellers will be chosen. The mentor and apprentice will create together, and they will have the same experience that I have had with Dean Hughes. To bring notoriety to the conference, we will partner with prestigious institutions like the National Novel Writing Month Association, the Writers Guild, and the Writers Guild of America. World Anvil, Campfire Blaze, Critique Circle, and Scrivener would all sponsor the convention. I am filled with so much excitement and joy at the prospect of changing the way that storytelling and connection are approached. But I cannot do this alone. I need resources. That is why I am asking for $100,000 to get this dream on its feet and up and running. This grant would cover location costs, insurance, paying for speakers, and marketing, as well as certain other miscellaneous details. It is my plan to hold the conference at the Salt Palace Convention Center in Salt Lake City, which has been known to hold certain events like this. My dream is that the first time there will be 1,000 attendees, and we will build upon that foundation every year. This entire thing is about breaking away from a scarcity mindset, embracing the law of abundance, and coming together. I promise to always mentor and teach with a generous heart, and remember what it was like to be a young man searching for a way up. My mission is to break down the walls that have been built between the aspiring author and the successful writer, so that we may all edify each other, and those who have powerful stories they want to tell can feel liberally supported and connected. I envision a world where all writers are eager to come together and create something that they could not dream of alone. Thank you.